I want you to imagine a thought experiment. Take two identical employees, same skills, same motivations, same intelligence, same work ethic. Place the first employee in an organization where decisions are made quickly, where it's safe to admit a mistake, and where they can see exactly how their work impacts the customer. Place the second employee in an organization where every decision requires 3 levels of approval, where mistakes are punished, and where their work disappears into a black hole of bureaucracy. 6 months later, what do you have? The first employee is thriving, they're innovating, they're what I call a zealot. The second employee is burned out. They're doing the bare minimum to survive. They have become a zombie. What changed? Not the people. People were identical. The system was different. W. Edwards Deming proved decades ago that 94% of all failures in an organization are failures of the system, not failures of the individual. Yet look at how we spend our time. We spend 94% of our energy managing people, evaluating people, and trying to motivate people. Almost no energy redesigning the systems those people are trapped inside. You don't have a people problem. You have a systems problem. And until you understand the difference, nothing's going to change. So what does a healthy human system look like? In the world of technology and DevOps, there's a foundational framework called the 3 ways. It was designed for software development, but I have found that it is the perfect diagnostic for the human system. The 3 ways are flow, feedback, and continuous learning. Flow is how much work moves from an idea into a delivered result. In a healthy system, work flows smoothly. In a broken system, work stops frequently. There's a metric called flow efficiency. It measures the ratio of the time actually spent working on a product versus the total time required to complete the task. When I go into an organization and I measure flow efficiency, the number is staggeringly low. It's almost always between 10 and 20% when we make our first measurement. What that means is that 80 to 90% of the time it takes to get anything done in your company is spent waiting for handoffs, waiting for approvals, waiting for decisions. Feedback is how the system corrects itself. In a healthy system, feedback is fast, safe, and automated. In a broken system, feedback is slow and dangerous. If your people are afraid to tell you the truth, your feedback loop is broken. Continuous learning is how the system evolves. In a healthy system, people are given the time and space to experiment. In a broken system, everyone is too busy fighting fires to learn how to prevent them. When you look at your organization through the lens of the 3 ways, you stop asking, what is wrong with my people? And you start asking, where is my system blocking flow, silencing feedback, and preventing learning? But why do we build systems that block flow? Because we fall into what I call the accounting trap. We take operational advice from cost accountants who are trained to maximize individual efficiency. They look at a spreadsheet and say, we need to get every person to be 100% utilized. But Eli Goldratt proved mathematically in his book, The Goal, that optimizing a non-bottleneck part of the process produces 0 improvement in system output. In fact, it creates chaos and probably diminishes it. I sat in a procurement meeting once where a CFO rejected a purpose-built project management platform because the annual license was $120,000. The alternative he chose was $18,000, cost $18,000. What the CFO did not calculate was the 12 hours per week that 4 project managers we're now spending on manual status reporting. At fully loaded labor costs, that was over $200,000 a year in lost productivity. Plus, it created a visibility vacuum, and it triggered micromanagement. It also prompted two of their best people to quietly start looking for other jobs because they were spending their days doing data entry. The accounting trap is not a budgeting error. It is a failure to count the right things. The true cost of a bad tool is not what you pay the vendor. It's what you pay in the lost potential of your people. This leads to the human constraint. Most organizations know to look for the bottleneck in their processes or their technology. They miss the most common constraint of all: a disengaged workforce staffing the bottleneck. A zombie at the bottleneck caps the entire organization's throughput. A zealot at the bottleneck unlocks it. To fix this, leadership has to change how it interacts with the system. Most leaders operate at level 1 of what I call the visibility ladder. They are the consumer. They demand that data be spoon-fed to them in status meetings and PowerPoint decks. This forces their teams to stop doing valuable work to create those slide decks. We need leaders to at least move to level 2, the investigators, the people who proactively look at the dashboards and teams that are already being produced. And ultimately, we need leaders at level 3, the architect. The architect doesn't just consume data. They build the systems that make the data visible without interrupting the flow of work. So this returns to a fundamental shift in identity. Most leaders were promoted because they were heroes. They were the ones who jumped in and worked the weekend and saved the project. But a hero, by definition, is a bottleneck. A hero creates fragility. Leadership is not about being the hero who saves the day. It's about being the gardener who tends the soil. A gardener does not yell at a plant to grow faster. A gardener checks the soil, they check the water, they check the sunlight, they create the environment where growth is inevitable. Your people are not broken. They're reacting rationally to the environment you have built. If you want zealots, you have to build a zealot system. You have to optimize for flow, demand honest and timely feedback, and protect continuous learning. Stop trying to manage your people. Start redesigning your system. Thank you.